And if there's any Russian people here tonight, I'm joking. Please, I don't want to have issues after the show. Walking out of the theater, hey, found the guy. Why you don't come DJ here, eh? Wiki, do it again.
Well, we're back again with another video, and it's been a while, so we're back again. This video is it's a different one. Like I said, I'm trying to try out different videos and reactions and see how it would fare. So that's one of them. This one is a comedy video. It's not the usual one. It's a comedy video, and I'm a big fan of comedy. And from the parts of the country or the world that we come from, or I come from, we are accustomed to a certain kind of comedy. Nigeria is just around the corner of us, and so we get to see a lot or hear a lot of their, you know, watch a lot of their comic skits and comedy shows and movies and all that. And we have a few ones of our own. And most of these comedy shows that we've watched or that I have personally watched, they are about making people laugh and all. Sometimes you don't really learn a lot from them. It's just a place to go to just laugh and release stress and all that, which is good. But I mean that's the focus or that's the purpose of comedy. But as I began surfing the internet, especially on YouTube, I got to know or I was just I got to know another type of comedy, another way of comedy or type of comedy that was slightly different from the one I'm used to, from the Nigerian comedy and the Ghanaian comedy that I was used to. Just apart from making you laugh. And this guy is none other by than Trevor Noah. He's called Trevor Noah. He's a South African. He's a South African. He's a mixed race guy. you know. And then one thing about him that makes him unique is that his comedy is different from the other ones. He doesn't just come and crack jokes for you to laugh. He actually takes a life scenario or a cultural thing about a particular place. It could be from any part of the world he's visited or he's seen or he knows. And then he uses that. And so most of his comedy is not really about how funny the thing is, but it's about the culture and how unique that particular culture is. But then he does it in a way that you always find, something in it. You learn from it and you laugh as well. Then another unique thing about him is that he's big on mimicking accent, or he can mimic a lot of accents. That's one thing I like about him. People who can mimic accents. I mean, as a young kid, I realized, I remembered when I was in school, one of my teachers used to, mimic or do this accent of an Ewe man speaking, English, and I loved it, and I think it stuck with me. And yes, so I actually love accents. So it was one of the things that when I saw him do, I was like, okay, I like it. And he is good. He can make, an Indian accent. He can make a Spanish accent. He can make a French accent. He can mimic a Russian accent. And you should listen to his Russian accent. Okay, I think I'm talking too much, but let's just watch him.
Thank you. Thank you. Too much applause. This could be shit, but thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out. How's everyone doing tonight? Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Or as the French say, good evening. No, it's bonjour, bienvenue. Yes, I'm learning. I'm trying to practice my French. I'm not gonna lie, Montreal probably has the sexiest border I've ever come to in my life. Yeah, I didn't feel like I was being interrogated. I felt like I was being flirted with. It was really sexy. And say, what are you planning to do in Montreal? I'm planning to stay. That's what I'm doing. The French. The most romantic language in the world.
And then one thing you'd also notice about him is that when he's making the accent, he doesn't, if you don't probably watch or listen closely, you might not know, or okay, you probably hear, but he just let's say that he's talking about a French or the French or the Spanish. All of a sudden, before you know it, he just switches to the accent. He's just speaking like them. That's how he switches. So sometimes you might not really know when he's getting there, but when you hear him speak about some of these people, then you know that he might do an accent of those people. So yes, watch out.
I don't know why the accent is romantic as well, but it is. It's funny how every accent has its own connotation to it. Speak with a French accent, you are sexy. How are you, ladies? And then there's some accents just have no sex appeal to them at all. You know? Like the Russian accent. There's nothing sexy about it. Everything the Russians say sounds dangerous and menacing. Doesn't matter what they say, because they've got that thing. Yes, I'm Russian, go to kill you, break you, destroy your family. Like even if Russians say nice things, it still sounds dangerous. They still go, yes, fluffy rabbits and teddy bears. What? It's like that weird thing, like the Russian accent is so... And you know, like the crazy thing about the Russians is everyone in the world is afraid of them. Everyone, no matter where you go in the world. You know the Russians are frightening because they're the only country that makes America think before doing something. Everywhere else in the world, America acts when something happens. When Russia does something, we think about it. Yeah, you saw the whole thing that happened with that plane that was shot down, the Malaysian flight. The Ukrainian rebels shot the plane came down. You know, America came out, Barack Obama, he was there. He's like, we gotta find out who did this. We're gonna come down on them like an iron fist. We're gonna let them know what time it is. I'm paraphrasing. And then everyone found out it was the Russians that supplied the Ukrainian rebels with the missile that shot down the plane. And then all of a sudden Obama was like, but let's not rush to conclusions. Let's take our time and not point fingers. Especially not at the Russians. I'm going home now. Thank you very much. There's something about the Russians. The Russians. You know what's weird is I find the Russian accent frightening, but not the Russian language. It's the strangest thing ever. There's certain languages I find frightening. There's certain accents that throw me off.
Okay, so when he says he finds the Russian accent frightening, but then the language not so much. What it means is that, you see, an accent is different from the language. And so if I'm a Ga person and I'm speaking Ga, I'm speaking the language. The Ga, that's the language. So the language itself might not sound, let's say, so with the Russia example that you gave, the language of the Ga might not sound scary or maybe vulgar. But then when you listen to an Ewe man or a Hausa man who doesn't probably speak Ga properly or understand Ga will start to speak Ga. Now, he will then speak the Ga with this native language tone, which is the northern language or the Ewe tone. So you realize that there's the person speaking Ga all the same, but then he's speaking it with a tone, with the same rules of his language, and so it becomes an accent. And so when you hear people speaking, so what he's saying is that when you hear people speaking the Russian accent, because they might not be Russian, they might be an American, because you can only speak with an accent if you are not really from the place or you don't really speak the language. But that's when you can really speak with the accent for the accent to come out. Because if you are Ewe and you understand Ewe very well and you are speaking it, you speak the language, you don't really speak with an accent. Yes, there's an accent, but it's normal unless and people see you as an Ewe person speaking Ewe. But then it becomes different, or people see it differently when somebody who is probably a Ga or an Hausa or somebody who is not of the same tribe start to speak that same language with the with the rules of his own or the tone of his own language, then it makes the accent very strong. You know that, okay, now this is an accent. So he's saying that Russian as a language is not scary because if you hear people speaking Russian, it's normal, like you don't understand, but it's a normal language. But then when you see Russians who have been in America and they are trying to speak English now, because they are not speaking their own language, they are speaking English. It makes the English sound as if it's Russian, and then you hear the tone or the accent from it, which makes it scary.
You know, for instance, I find Arabic frightening as a language. You know? It just has that thing in it. The guy could be saying anything. We're talking about
Okay, so this one is different. This one is just the Arabic language. He is saying that for the Arabic, it's not the accent. He finds that the language itself, it's funny. The language itself is scary. Language, but people who make Arabic accent is funny to me, but the language itself to him is scary.
Candy Crush. But it's because we've watched all those movies, all those TV shows. Every time you see Arabic, some bad shit goes down. It's never something cool or sexy, you know? It's never like, it's never that. So the language is frightening, but Russian, for some reason, I don't find frightening at all. Yeah, I don't. I realized this. I was walking through the streets of New York, and there was a Russian guy. He was walking next to me, and he happened to be on the phone, right? And it sounded like he was setting up a drug deal. And so this guy is walking next to me, and he's talking, and he switched from English, the English-Russian accent, into Russian. And it went from fear to no fear. It was the strangest thing ever. He was on the phone, and he was like, yeah, no, Vlad, don't worry. The guy's got to be at 3 o'clock, okay? You meet them, you tell me after that, you got the package we call. Don't worry. Hey, Vlad, no, listen, Vlad, давай ще дерегеш ночи, е? Да, дижнитно, видачи на деревот, жет на дегец нечи, бодоч динардич, вот не крадеш, вот не гет, вот дередje. And it was the craziest thing ever. He went from like international criminal to immigrant. It was the weirdest thing. Like I had no fear at all. I'm not afraid of the Russian language, just the accent. In fact, to me, the Russian language just sounds like someone's playing a vinyl backwards. That's all I hear. It sounds like someone took a DJ of English and they were just there like, yeah. He's just like, yes. We go to find, don't worry, Vlad, the guy's got to be there, 3 o'clock, okay? Yeah, bring the package, don't worry about that. After that you find, you give me the call, okay? No, Vlad, нет. Вид ночь, get, вот, значит, вот, нигет, значит, вот, значит, овет, значит, вот, значит, вот, значит, вот, get that, it ночь, bit, not bit, a bit Russian. That's what I'm hearing in my head. And if there's any Russian people here tonight, I'm joking. Please, I don't want to have issues after the show. Walking out of the theater, hey, found the guy. Why you don't come DJ here, eh? Wiki, do it again. Thanks for coming.
He's a funny guy. Why don't they come and do it here? Okay, so that was that's the first of. I want to react to a couple of his skits or videos. So this one is, if you go to YouTube, it's titled "Some Languages Are Scary." Okay, so I'll put his okay, so he's Trevor Noah, so you can go and check him out. He has a lot of videos. You can check him out, and then maybe I'll try to see if I can put some of the links of some of the videos in the description box so that some of you can just check them out. So yes, this is Trevor Noah. Some languages are scary. So yes, there's just 5 minutes of it. There's a whole long videos. When I went to this page, I realized that they've made some of the videos in bits so that people can enjoy, watching them. Some people don't like long videos, so yes. And if you want the longer videos, there's a compilation that he has there. There's a compilation of most of I think it's a compilation of his most viewed videos, so you can watch it. It's about 1 hour 36 minutes or something. So yes, so we are done with this one. I'll be back with another one. Just as always, subscribe to the channel, like it, tell somebody about the channel, share it, and comment. Yes, I realize that most people don't comment. I want the comments. You can even ask for a certain reaction that you want. So I can I don't know. I think I have a bit of a time on my hands lately. Can do it for you.